The greatest victory is the one where no battle was fought. We live in a world that praises noise, reaction, and domination. But true strength whispers. It doesn't scream. Sun Tzu, the silent master of strategy, once said, "To win without fighting is the highest form of warfare." This isn't a lesson in violence. It's a path to clarity, control, and inner power. Because sometimes walking away is the most powerful move on the board. Have you ever reacted too quickly, only to wish you'd stayed silent? The world often mistakes noise for confidence, anger for strength, and force for power. But Sun Tzu knew better. Power is not in proving, it's in perceiving. Not in clashing, but in calculating. Like water that flows without resistance, yet wears down the strongest stone. This isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about mastering the moment before conflict even begins. Because strategy doesn't start on the battlefield. It starts in the mind, quiet, focused, still. People often think that to win, you must fight. That power lies in striking harder, louder, faster. But Sun Tzu said, "The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting." Not through force, but through foresight. Not through resistance, but through restraint. He knew that the loudest one in the room is rarely the strongest. That silence isn't weakness, it's control. That to win, sometimes you simply have to make sure the battle never begins. And that's the paradox. The most powerful move is often no move at all. Not because you're afraid, but because you've already seen 5 steps ahead. You've already won by refusing to play the game they're trying to pull you into. In the art of war, the battlefield is not outside, it's within. And your sharpest weapon is stillness. A flame does not lose its light by lighting another. A tree does not rush to grow, yet one day it becomes shelter. And water. Water never resists. It does not clash. It does not fight. But it changes everything it touches. It carves mountains. It smooths the hardest stone. It seeps through cracks and finds its way, always. Sun Tzu understood this, that the most effective force is not always the one that strikes, but the one that adapts. A true strategist knows noise is predictable. Ego is readable. Reaction is a weakness to be used against you. So, he taught his warriors not just how to move, but when not to move. Not just how to strike, but how to listen. When you are quiet, you see more. When you are still, you sense what others miss. And when you are calm, you control not just yourself, but the entire board. Because control is not about holding everything tight. It's about knowing what to release. And strength is not always shown by fighting. Sometimes it is shown by standing still while the storm rages past you. Silence is a source of great strength. Those who are steady are rarely shaken. Master yourself, and you need no enemy. Power is not taken. It is given by discipline. A wise man hides his fire beneath still waters. The mind is the battlefield. Win there first. In calm, you read chaos. The loudest are often the least certain. Peace is not weakness. It is clarity. To move without moving. That is mastery. If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles. Every battle is won before it is ever fought. Appear weak when you are strong, and strong when you are weak. The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting. He who plans subtly strikes deeply. Know where the wind blows, then move your sails. When the enemy is unprepared, strike. When he is watching, disappear. Victory is not chance, it is design. A skilled general leads the enemy into defeat by letting them think they're winning. To predict is to prepare. He who is slow to anger conquers more than he who takes a city. Anger is the enemy's greatest ally when it's yours. To control others is strength. To control yourself is power. Emotion clouds judgment. Stillness sharpens it. The patient will always outlast the impulsive. Wait. Let the enemy reveal himself. Reacting is a trap. Observing is freedom. If you are provoked, you are predictable. Be like the moon, bright but silent. Delay is a weapon. Use it wisely. Water shapes its path, not by force, but by flow. Be formless, shapeless, like water. The strong bend, they do not break. What cannot move, breaks. What moves, survives. In strategy, flexibility wins more than brute force. The wise shift because they see before others feel. Hold nothing too tightly. Grip blinds sight. To retreat is not to lose. It is to wait. When you're seen, be invisible. When chased, become air. Flow, and you become impossible to trap. A leader leads by example, not by force. He wins who knows when to fight and when not to. Strike only when it matters, not when you're angry. The wise do not rush, they time their step. True command begins with self-command. Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as night, and when you strike, fall like a thunderbolt. Lead them where they do not expect. That is mastery. The moment you are ready, the world will shift. Timing is strategy made visible. Power is not noise, power is precision. These words aren't just for the battlefield. They are for the mind, the meetings, the moments you wish to speak, but choose silence. And in choosing stillness, you begin to win. Now is the time not to speak louder, but to listen deeper. Now is the time to pause before you react, to choose stillness over impulse, strategy over noise. Because you are strongest not when you strike, but when you decide not to. Strength is knowing when to hold and when to release, when to walk away, not out of weakness, but wisdom. So every day, train your mind before the world trains your anger. Watch before you respond. Lead yourself quietly, completely, and the world will follow. Like water, you don't need to roar to reshape the world. You just need to keep flowing, steady, silent, certain. True power is not loud. It is not reactive. It is not desperate to be seen. Power is what remains when everything else has calmed down. When the dust settles and only you are still standing, not because you fought harder, but because you refused to fight what didn't deserve you. And maybe that's the real victory. Not the war we win outside, but the one we no longer need to fight within. Thank you for staying until the end. If just one quote in this video made you pause, helped you breathe, or reminded you to hold instead of hurry, then maybe you already won something today. Save the line that spoke to you, or share it with someone who needs strength in stillness. And whenever the world feels too loud, come back here. We'll be here, with light, with silence, with words that don't shout, but stay. Storylight, where quiet stories find their voice.